Isabella. We are back for another book haul. So I just went to the thrift store yesterday with my dad and my brother, and I found a couple books there. My dad had bought me just two random books from what is it called, like ThriftBooks? Yeah, ThriftBooks, that website. And then I had ordered four books from Amazon, like I think the past month. Um, yeah, I got a lot more books to show off, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So I'm gonna start with the ones I got from Amazon and go from there. Um, so first I'm gonna start with Never Lie by Frida McFadden. It says, sometimes the truth kills. Newlyweds Trisha and Ethan are searching for the house of their dreams. They think they found it when they visit the remote manor that once belonged to Dr. Adrian Hale, a renowned psychiatrist who vanished without a trace years ago. But when a violent winter storm traps them at the estate, the house begins to lose its appeal. Stuck inside and growing restless, Trisha stumbles on a collection of audio transcripts from Dr. Hale's sessions with patients. As Trisha listens to the cassette tape, she learns about the terrifying chain of events leading up to the doctor's mysterious disappearance. With each tape, another shocking piece of the puzzle falls into place, and a web of lies slowly unravels. By the time Trisha reaches the final cassette, the one that reveals the entire horrifying story, it will be too late. I hear that she's a very good writer. She has a whole bunch of other creepy ass thriller books that I really want to try out. But this seems really good. And of course, I fucking love mystery thriller books, so that'd be fun to read. Next is The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. It's an As Seen on TikTok book, and most of these I also get from Book Talk because I'm on that side of TikTok every now and again. But yeah. So it says, Beckett, if you're reading this, well, you know the last letter drill. You made it. I didn't get off the guilt train because I know if there were any chance you could have saved me, you would have. I need one thing from you. Get out of the army and get to Telluride. My little sister Ella's raising the twins alone. She's too independent and would accept help easily, but she has lost our grandmother, our parents, and now me. It's too much for anyone to endure, and it's not fair. And here's the kicker. There's something else you don't know that's tearing her family apart. She's going to need help. So if I'm gone, it means I can't be there for Ella. I can't help them through this, but you can. So I'm begging you, as my best friend, go take care of my sister and my family. Please don't make her go through it alone. Ryan. I think I heard that this was a depressing ass fucking story. So I'm quite curious. And who knows, maybe depending on how good this book is, we'll see the author and her other books. Next is called Empty, which is a memoir. So it says, for almost 30 years, Susan Burton hid her obsession with food and the secret life of compulsive eating and starving that dominated her adolescence. Empty is her relentlessly honest, fiercely intelligent story of living with both anorexia and binge eating disorder, moving past her shame and learning to tell her secret. When Burton was 13, her stable life in suburban Michigan was turned upside down by her parents' abrupt divorce, and she moved to Colorado with her mother and sister. She seized on this move west as an adventure and opportunity to reinvent herself from a middle school nerd to popular teenage girl. But she hadn't escaped unscathed. In the fallout of her parents' breakup, an inherited fixation on thinness went from, as she expresses it, peculiarity to pathology. Binging is more prevalent than anorexia or bulimia, but there is less research and a little storytelling to help us understand it. Susan Burton's exhilarating story of compulsive longing and hard-earned self-revelation makes a powerful case for taking seriously the secret lives of women built around food. I'm very excited to read this. I really love books that having to do with eating disorders because it's I feel like there's not enough representation in both books and movies and TV shows. There may be some concept around it, but there's not much to it. I've seen, even with documentaries, I've seen almost every eating disorder documentary. I've seen all of what people had on intervention or My Strange Addiction. I have read almost every book that I could find about eating disorders and seen every movie, which are back from the fucking 1980s, 1990s of all these fucking, or late early 2000s of eating disorder movies. And you know, some of them are good, some of them aren't, but and a lot of them are fucking weird, but I don't know. I feel like there just should be more stigma around it. And like I know there's a lot of documentaries, especially like when it comes to Europe, because I know it's very like a thing over there, but it's like I don't know. I feel like there just needs to be more like awareness to it or more like representation because it's a big fucking thing and it affects millions of people. And what's the statistic that what 1 in 5 there's like billions of people that get it, and I think it's like 1 in 5 people die and like half of those recover. So yeah, it's a big thing. So next is Warriors, Super Edition, Tall Stars Revenge by Aaron Hunter. I have a whole fucking like just wish list collection of just the Warrior series books because if y'all don't know, The Warriors by Aaron Hunter I think are my most favorite book series ever. That's because I think that was the first book series that I read when I was starting middle school. The Warrior series, it's about cat clans and it's fucking amazing and I love it to death. So there's a bunch of these out there that I just want to buy. So I have a jar of books that I want to buy, and I pick at random. I pick like 2 or 3 at random depending on the price and just buy that. So that's kind of just what I did with this one. I just go by what the paper says because it's easier for me to just be like, okay, instead of like actually figuring out which book I want next. So yeah. A desperate quest for revenge. Tallpaw is eager to complete his apprentice training and protect his clan until a tragic accident leaves his father dead and Tallpaw determined to avenge him. Though he earns his warrior name Talltale, the bitterness that fills his heart drives him away from Wind Clan in search of justice. But life outside the laws of the warrior code is dangerous, and Talltale must decide how much he is willing to sacrifice for vengeance. Don't miss a single Warrior series. Prophecy Begins, New Prophecy, Power of Three, Omen of Stars, Vision of Shadows, The Broken Code, and Dawn of Clans. So there's literally like so many fucking series of these, and Aaron Hunter is like such a great fucking story writer. She also writes like The Seekers, which I think has to do with bears. I know she writes another one that has to do with dogs, but I want all of them. I just want all of them. So yeah, we're definitely gonna need. Oh, it's got a little comic on the back. Nice. Bravelands, yeah, that has to do with like I think African animals, but. And then Survivors is with the dogs. Yeah, there we go. It showed on the back. And then there's novellas and there's graphic novels and the super editions, the Survivors, and then the Survivors The Gathering Darkness, and then there's Seekers, and then there's Seekers Return to the Wild. So there's a shit ton. And then of course, you know, there's Dawn of the Clans, Power of Three, Omen of Stars, Prophecy Begins, New Prophecy, and the Vision of Shadows. And there's 6 books in each, not counting just the original 6. But yeah, Aaron Hunter's like the best writer ever. So that'd be pretty interesting. Which just means I'm gonna need another fucking bookshelf, and that's pretty ridiculous. Okay, so next are the 2 that my dad bought me off of ThriftBooks. This one's called The Body Finder by Kimberly Denting, I think. I don't fucking know. So it says 16-year-old Violet Ambrose is grappling with 2 major issues: Jaheen and her unusual so-called gift. While her confusing feelings for her best friend are new, she has been able to sense dead bodies, or at least those who have been murdered, and the imprints that attached to their killers since she was a little girl. Violet has never considered her ability useful, but now that a serial killer has begun terrorizing her small town, she realizes she might be the only person who can stop him. Fiercely protective of her, Jay agrees to help Violet search for the murderer, but even as she's falling in love, Violet is getting closer to discovering the killer and becoming his prey herself. This seems pretty interesting. I also do love, like, fantasy, like, weird magic stories. So yeah, that'll be pretty exciting to read too. That's gotta go. I have my bookshelves set up in a certain way, so I'm trying to figure out where these are gonna go. So next is Paranormalcy by Kirsten White. So it says, weird as it is working for the International Paranormal Containment Agency, Evie's always thought of herself as normal. Sure, her best friend is a mermaid, her ex-boyfriend is a fairy. She's falling for a shapeshifter, and she's the only person who can see through paranormal's glamorous, but still normal. Only now paranormals are dying, and Evie's dreams are filled with haunting voices and mysterious prophecies. She soon realizes that there may be a link between her abilities and the sudden rash of deaths. Not only that, but she may very well be at the center of the dark fairy prophecy, promising destruction to all paranormal creatures. So much for normal. This seems pretty exciting. So yeah, that'd be pretty cool. You know, maybe if the pages weren't all fucked. I guess what happens when you fucking buy used books offline. Alright, so next are the books that I found at the thrift store yesterday. Yeah, so I'm gonna start with The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. So it says, every day is the same. Rachel takes the same commuter train every morning and night. Every day she rattles down the track, flashes past a stretch of cozy suburban homes, and stops at the signal that allows her daily watch the same couple breakfasting on their deck. She's even starting to feel like she knows them, Jess and Jason she calls them. The life as she sees it is perfect, not unlike the life she's recently lost. Until today, and then she sees something shocking. It's only a minute until the train moves on, but it's enough. Now everything's changed, and unable to keep it to herself, Rachel goes to the police. But is she really as reliable as they say? Soon she is deeply entangled not only in the investigation, but the lives of everyone involved. Has she done more harm than good? I love a good mystery book. So next is Lisa Gardner's Gone. Lisa Gardner, I also have a couple books from, and she's also a brilliant writer. So it says, when someone you love vanishes without a trace. For ex-FBI profiler Pierce Quincy, it's the beginning of his worst nightmare. A car has just been found abandoned on a desolate stretch of Oregon highway, engine running, and a woman's purse in the driver's seat. And the driver of that car, his estranged wife, Rainey Connor, has vanished without a trace. How far will you go to get them back? Did one of the ghosts from Rainey's troubled past catch up with her? Or could her disappearance be connected to a vicious double homicide that they've been investigating? One of the men knows what happened that night, and if he doesn't get what he wants, Rainey will be gone for good. Now, as terrifying as deadline nears, Pierce plunges into the most desperate hunt of his life, in search of the killer, the lethal truth, and the love of his life. But getting back what he lost may be murder. Fun. So next is Murder at Black Oaks by Philip Margolin. Margolin? Yeah. So it says, defense attorney Robin Lockwood is summoned to the Black Oaks Manor, a manor in Oregon mountains, with an interesting history, a murderous legend, and a curse. The owner, Frank Menleville, however, wants Lockwood's help righting a wrongful conviction from his day as a DA. Jose Alvarez was convicted of murdering his girlfriend, but years later, when Menville was a private practice, a client of his admitted to the murder of framing Alvarez. And able to reveal what he knew to the attorney-client confidence, Melville now wants Lockwood's help in getting that conviction overturned. Successful in their efforts, Melville invites Lockwood up to Black Oaks for a celebration. Lockwood finds herself among odd groups of invitees, including the bitter, newly released Alvarez. When Melville is found murdered with a knife connected to the manor's curse, Lockwood is faced with a conundrum. Who is the murderer among them, and how to stop them before there's another victim? Gotta love all these FBI fucking storybooks. I don't know why. I just have so many of them. So next is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. So it says, it's been 18 months since the Raxter School for Girls was put under quarantine since the talks hit and pulled Hetty's life out from under her. It started slow. First, the teachers died one by one, and began to infect the students, turning their bodies strange and foreign. Now cut off from the rest of the world and left to fend for themselves on their island home, the girls don't dare wander outside the school fence. But the talks has made woods wild and dangerous. They wait for the cure they promise as talk seeps into everything. But when Bayek goes missing, Hetty will do anything to find her, even if it means breaking quarantine and braving the horror that lies beneath the fence. And when she does, Hetty learns that there is more to the story than their life at Raxter than she could have ever thought. true. Wow, this is this chick's first novel. She's only a college girl. Nice. All right, and last but not least is The Silent Wife by A.S.A. Harrison. So it says, Jody and Todd are at a bad place in their marriage. Much is at stake, including the affluent life they lead in their beautiful waterfront condo in Chicago. As she, the killer, and he, the victim, rush haplessly toward the main event, he is a committed cheater and she lives and breathes denial. He exists in a dual world and she likes to settle scores. He decides to play for keeps and she has nothing left to lose. Told in alternating voices, The Silent Wife is about a marriage in the throes of dissolution, a couple headed for catastrophe, concessions that can't be made, and promises that won't be kept. That'll be fun. Nice. It just says him and her. That'll be pretty interesting. And yeah, so that is the ending for this one. Let me know. Well, once again, I will do, reviews as soon as I get to reading them. We're trying. But yeah, let me know what sounds the most interesting and which one I should start with first if you want to, pick a book for me to read next. And yeah, that is basically it. If you're new to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and hit the bell so you're notified when videos are just daily. I love you guys, and I'll see you later.